Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for mid-February 2026. You have this card that says your secrets are safe. You have this unicorn card. It says good fortune and friendship. I love that word for you, Sag. The whole fortune word. I think it would be a great year, not just this month, but the entire year for you to like change your fortunes. There's just a lot of good energy for it. Again, I know I keep going on and on about it, but Uranus and Gemini in April, is going to be a big deal for you. So I think there are a lot of things that you can do to kind of, improve your fortunes, increase your fortunes, become more fortunate. All that is what I would focus on. Wouldn't worry too much about the tower. Basically, everyone had the tower as usual. Wouldn't surprise me if there were several global tower moments at this time. This eclipse that we're having on the 17th is tricky. It's squaring Uranus. It's just perfectly set up for something. And again, I don't like putting these things out there, but, at the same time, I think people should be aware of, ground shaking events, let's put it that way, right? That could happen. So, like I said, personally, I wouldn't worry about the tower too much, but, I would keep your head on straight. In your first row here, you have the Justice card, the Nine of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. Yeah, I would be careful of, what you think is balanced is what's popping into my head. The Justice card isn't really a bad card, of course, but it is a card of justice. And it is a card of creating balance, but what I'm getting for you is that, especially in work, let's put it that way. If you're, it's like sometimes I think we have to do a certain amount of work to get a result, and maybe we don't. Maybe we can do a lot less and still get the same result, right? So I kind of feel this is about like estimation, or what you are estimating here, or something you're estimating the rest of the month, Sagittarius. Kind of weird message, but I would say that it makes sense. I mean, I can't tell you, I teach YouTube on the weekends, and I cannot tell you how many times people will come to me, for advice or whatever on their channel that they're working on, and I'll be like, why did you do all this stuff here? And they'll tell me, oh, so-and-so said I have to do this and that and the other thing. And I'm like, you don't have to do any of that. You wasted a bunch of time, right? So again, I think as humans, and again, I'm far from perfect. I'm not trying to say like I don't do this all the time as well, because I definitely do, right? But sometimes I think we like overestimate what is required for something to be successful. And I just feel this is saying like, hey, don't burn yourself out this month thinking that you have to like burden yourself with like 900 different things to do and cause a tower moment, right? So we can absolutely cause tower moments by doing too much. You have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, boundaries. Again, if something weird happens the week of the 17th, you're going to want to have boundaries. You're going to want to protect your energy for sure. So Nine of Wands is a great card for having boundaries. It is coming up next to the Seven of Swords, which actually could be good because Seven of Swords is about doing something different. And the Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's an amazing time to play. This came up for a lot of people, and you have the Six of Cups in this reading. Six of Cups is your inner child on a very simple level. So Six of Cups can represent needing to be more playful with like stuff, just like figuring stuff out in life. I don't have any good examples for you, Sagittarius, because again, I would just like be, doing things that you think are fun. Who knows what you will discover? You could make a bunch of friends and things like that as well, right? So, I think it's definitely a good time to be playful, a good time to learn a lot about things that you're trying to grow in your life as well. This is your one warning right here is the Ten of Wands. Don't put too much pressure on yourself for the next... I would start now. Today is February 8th, so this video will be published on the 9th. So even if you're watching it before the middle of the month, I would say probably for almost the next 2 months. We have Mercury retrograde from the 26th to March 20th or something like that. So, basically the next, 6 weeks or so, you could say, I would make sure that you're not putting too much pressure on yourself. The other thing that I like to remind people as well about eclipses is that eclipse energy can last for like 6 months. And this Aquarius eclipse in particular, Aquarius eclipses really want us to make space. They don't want us doing a bunch of stuff to like force something to work, for example. But if we create the space and we relax into it, then good things can fill that space, right? And it's more of an allowing energy is what I think it is. Because again, if you're trying to do things like you're like forcing something to happen, that's not space, right? But if you just allow yourself to be inspired on the next step, then that creates a lot of good space. And that's what I would do with the Ten of Wands. Like I'm giving you permission to not try too hard this month and to not work hard, right? I think it would be a much better time for you to just like allow, if that makes sense. With the Justice card, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, if something's working, do it, right? Eight of Pentacles, he doesn't necessarily work hard. He just works on one thing. He's working on those 8 pentacles, and this card represents material success on the horizon. So he's about to make money for work that he's doing. But the other thing is he really pays attention to results. So if he's putting work into something and he's getting a result out of it, there's nothing wrong with working hard on something that actually is producing more. Again, the rule that I have for my life is I need to get more out than I put in. Right? So, I have all of you wonderful subscribers. I get like so much energy from this channel. I always say it all the time. And when I'm doing my readings, I'm channeling from source. So I'm not tired by the time I'm done with my readings. I usually am more energetic, right? And so, go watch the Libra reading and then watch this reading. The Libra reading was the first reading I did today. You are the last reading I'm doing today. I am probably more animated in this reading than I was in that reading. Because it fills me with energy, right? So this to me is more than worth it to be taking the time to do these readings every single day because it gives me energy and I get a lot of great energy from all of you, right? And that is the true Eight of Pentacles in my mind. It is like doing something in your life, and it doesn't have to be a job. It doesn't have to be a career or anything like that. It could be a hobby or an interest or a person you spend time with, friends that you make, all that other stuff, right? And surrounding yourself with that could literally increase your abundance in the world. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Eight of Wands here, which you do have twice in this reading. So we have the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Wands. One thing that's kind of surprised me about this week is the amount of communication stuff that has been coming up. So a lot of people have been getting like Eight of Wands, Queen of Swords, Ace of Swords, all these communication cards, Page of Pentacles, stuff like that. You have the Eight of Wands twice, which is great for communication, but it just, there could just be a lot of buzz going on in this month, for the rest of the month, I would say. And again, sometimes I do these readings and I always say the universe doesn't wear a watch, right? So these are meant for the middle of the month, but for whatever reason, I feel like these readings are covering from the 9th basically until the end of the month, right? And, just could be a lot of buzz. It just feels like buzz to me. You could be creating a buzz. I think you should. You're the only person I've said the buzz thing to. So again, if you're like working on a project or a business, maybe you're drumming up a lot of attention or creating a buzz around something you're creating, which would kind of make sense as well with the Tower because, as I always say, the Tower does not have to be bad. This is a lightning bolt, which would be a buzz for sure if you were to get hit by a lightning bolt. But some of you could be getting hit with an idea that creates a buzz. With the Ten of Wands, you show up as always. Again, it's crazy to me that for the past, I don't know how many readings, you have shown up as yourself. It used to be Cancer that used to show up as themselves in every single reading. Now it's you. So apparently it's all about you nowadays, Sagittarius, which is probably good. Whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from a reading. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, yeah, these are two good cards. I think this is good energy for you right here. It says Virgo, it says digest, and the other says solar calm, it says clarify on it. Maybe that's what the Tower is talking about. With the Tower gets reduced down to its foundation, and then we're supposed to rebuild it stronger after. But what I feel here is that you could be taking in a lot of information. Maybe you're creating a buzz, or maybe people are wanting a lot from you over the next few weeks. And this basically says pause, digest, see how you feel, get clarity on any communication you're receiving, and then go from there, right? Maybe that would be a good, practice for you. Like pause, think, react. That's what I would do if I were a Sagittarius with these cards. You have the High Priestess, the Seven of Swords, and the Tower. Again, part of me feels like the Tower's coming up because we're going to see a lot of things getting exposed. There are a lot of things which for some reason I can't understand why I can't talk about this on YouTube. It's almost like they're protecting a certain group of people. very, very unusual to me. I don't know why you would protect this certain group of people. Seems kind of sus. But anyway, I'm sure you've all seen it. A lot of stuff coming out. There will be a lot more. You ain't seen nothing yet. Neptune and Pisces. Neptune's in Aries now, but it was in Pisces. So I've been predicting this since like 2016. You can go to my old lives when I used to go live back in 2016. I used to talk about this all the time. End of Neptune and Pisces would be crazy. The beginning of Neptune and Aries. So we're going to see a lot of stuff. We really need to trust our intuition, listen to our inner voice at this time. The good positive side of this is I think that us as individuals, we can get to the bottom of who we are. We can have a lot of like deep insights about ourselves, and if we explore those things about ourselves, then we could really form like true strength from those deep down inside discoveries about ourselves. And I know I'm speaking very generally here, but it literally could be about anything. Like you could get to the bottom of why maybe you feel like you're never successful. Like now is a good time to get to the bottom of why. You can really figure out like maybe something happened in your childhood. Maybe you just developed a mindset over years or whatever. Now is a good time to tap in to yourself and to correct it, because if you do, you will be successful. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, some people read as lying, cheating, stealing. Yeah, it can represent trickster energy, but I think that, the golden cards in the tarot are positive no matter what, and he is sneaking away from that army in the background with those swords. And as I've said to you before, you are probably going to get this card about 6 billion times over the next 7 years, so don't be surprised. But yeah, anything that you want to do here, Sag, I would be looking for better ways to do it, or other solutions to what you're creating or what you're building or what you're working on. Finding other ways of doing things is going to lead to a lot of success. The other thing is, like I said, childlike energy. This guy here, he has these polka dots on his cloak. There is something about like the next 2 weeks. So I'm talking about like the 9th and whatever the week after is, the 16th or something like that, or the 15th. I don't know. But whatever the week after the 9th is, it might be the 15th. And, like those 2 middle weeks, not the last week, there's just something about like very serious energy of people being too serious. But I think, again, on a personal level, for us as individuals, we could be taking things too seriously when we should be more playful, or when it's not that serious, right? Whatever it is that's going on in our lives. And, I used to be very serious and I used to take things like every little thing that happened in my life very seriously. And I was just a stressed out, neurotic mess. So never helped me. None of those things that I took seriously years ago ended up being serious in the first place. So, it's like there's no point in worrying. And I also think that I got nothing done at that time in my life because I was just like tight, I think right now we're in a time where we have to be loose, basically. You have the Tower. Again, definitely could be, it wouldn't surprise me if there was some sort of global tower moment. We're going to see a bunch, basically, over the coming years. I've talked about it before. On a personal level, like I said, I get that buzz message. So if you are building a buzz around something, like if you're trying to get support for a project, or if you're trying to get support for your YouTube channel, or for, your business, or whatever you're doing, for whatever reason, that's what's popping into my head. The other thing with the Towers, again, we are entering into new reality. So these people have been ignoring reality. Now they're being brought down to reality. Again, it's kind of like I say, people always tell me, I always talk about how we're in a time of chaos between now and like 2033. Really, like the peak is 2028, somewhere around there. But people always tell me like, is it bad? And I'm like, well, it's like we might see things that seem bad on the surface, but, I always bring up the Louise Hay quote. I don't actually know the quote off the top of my head, but basically what Louise Hay says is, if you're sweeping up your floor and you can't see the dirt, I'm looking at dirt on my floor over here right now. If you can't see the dirt, you can't clean it up, right? So it's like that is the phase that we are in. It's like our children have come outside from playing in the mud. They tracked a bunch of dirt into the house. And now we have to kind of like sweep it up, right? So really, is it bad? Like I said, sure, some of the things that we're seeing are bad, but at the same time, we have to be able to fix it, right? With the High Priestess, you have the King of Cups. Sorry, I dropped it. You have the King of Cups here. I would watch your emotions for sure. Again, eclipses can be a little bit emotional as well. So I would keep your emotions stable, but at the same time, very intuitive. King of Cups is very intuitive, and I would be trusting your intuition. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Hierophant. Yeah, outside the box thinking. The other thing that we're dealing with right now is I think the box looks safe. It's like if you have, if you're trying to grow your business or trying to improve your health or trying to improve a relationship or get into a relationship, it's like the way things always have been done looks very attractive, and it looks a little bit scary to get outside the box. And so I think that but for you, again, I actually think that really you're going to be one of the signs that probably has an easier time with it because of Uranus going to Gemini. Thinking outside the box and coming up with unique solutions is going to maybe be a little bit of a superpower for you. But he's blessing these two people in front of him. So that is where you will get your blessings, by being different. With the Tower, you have the Two of Cups. Could be the surprise of a new connection coming in for you as well with the Two of Cups. So if you're looking for love, sure. One thing I will say, though, Sagittarius, is I would be careful of past people. We have Mercury retrograde at the end of the month. This one seems to be not a good one for exes coming back, as in, it might upset you if you hear from a person. We see a lot of communication here. So again, if you can block a person before that happens, probably a good idea. But really, I'm feeling like new love. So I think a lot of you could be attracting a new person. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this protection card and this patience card. So you are protected. Wouldn't really worry about anything for the most part. I would act as if you are protected. I feel you have been very patient. It's fun. I didn't even notice that you also have the temperance card over here. So you start and end with the temperance card, and temperance is patience. So if you've been waiting for something to come in, you have the Eight of Wands, which could be you receiving something. Eight of Wands can be like a quick success or a quick conclusion. Eight of Wands right now, I really think, is a card of focus. I feel the Eight of Wands comes up a lot nowadays. You actually have it twice as well in this reading. And the Eight of Wands, all those wands are pointing in one direction. We are in a time of distraction. Plain and simple. Anytime I say this, trust me, I get plenty of people telling me about all the things I need to worry about. And I'm like, okay, well, those things are distractions, right? It's like, it's really critically important that we pay attention to what we can control with the Eight of Wands. And I know some people don't like that, but I don't get over it, number one. Because it's not helping at all. It's like exactly what the evil on earth is trying to get us to do. They're trying to get us to split apart, fight against each other, and create a problem, right? So that then they can say, well, you're all a bunch of children, so now we have to come save the day. And trust me, you don't want that, because what that looks like is whatever freaking nerd surveillance state injected with a microchip thing that they're trying to do, right? I don't want that at all. So I'd rather just be on Team Human, and I'd rather just try to get people to get along, right? So I would state, but on a personal level, again, since that's what we're talking about in this reading, you need to stay focused on what you want to see in the world. And if you do that, good things will happen. You have this Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about going on an adventure. Every reading I do for you, Sagittarius, basically has an adventure card. So if you haven't been on an adventure in a while, then I would go on some sort of adventure, like having fun. It doesn't even have to be anything crazy. I'm not saying you have to like travel somewhere, but if there's like something new you could learn, something fun you could go do, even if it's free, right? It doesn't have to be something that costs you money. I think anything like that would be very good for you. It will just free up time. Again, there's this tight energy is the best way I can describe it. And again, this is personal. It's not necessarily intuitive, but anytime I've been tight, nothing works. Nothing happens, right? It's not until I've like let go and just released, whatever's going on in my life that things get better. So, trust me, I'm slow, right? I beat my head against the wall, so it's taken me a long time to learn this. But I think the more, I think sometimes, like, I used to say this all the time. My mom used to say to me, like, you need to go do something because this is why things aren't working for you. And it used to piss me right off, Sagittarius. But she was right. It wasn't until I started doing things that were not work that good things happened in my life. So, I am convinced that we have to loosen up, right? You have the Six of Cups, more, like I said, childlike energy, playful, fun, having fun. Yeah, sure, the card can represent innocence, nostalgia, thinking about the past. But I feel it's just talking about protecting your inner child, protecting your joy, protecting your peace. And that's what I would do with that Six of Cups. Like I said, could be love coming in for you. Six of Cups does not have to be a person from the past. It can just be a soulmate. With the Eight of Wands, yes, Three of Swords, I would, again, if you have an ex, especially if it's recent, like the past couple years or something here, Sag, I would really make sure that if you don't want to hear from the person, then I would put up boundaries, or I would block the person or whatever. Obviously, if you do want to hear from the person, then, then don't. With the Page of Wands, you have the Ace of Cups. So again, could be a love offer for sure, coming in this way. Or this way even, although you have the Nine of Swords, so we're going to have to look into that. But Ace of Cups is your emotions overflowing. Again, I think we need to be like little lighthouses in the world, right, is how I see it. Especially if you look at the astrology, it's pretty freaking simple as far as I'm concerned. Pluto in Aquarius wants us to be an inspiration, right? Ace of Cups is just you focusing on your own flow, right? The Ace of Cups can easily cause itself to overflow by filling itself up in the water below it. And the more we get into that energy, the more we turn into a lighthouse, the more moths we attract to our flame, our light, the more we can change the world to become a better place. So, there you go. Before the robots take over. With the Six of Cups, you have the Seven of Wands. Protect your inner child, basically. Seven of Wands, a card of boundaries. You need to protect that, playful, fun, enthusiastic Sagittarian energy that's inside you. So protect it from bad things. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Aquarius card. It says rebellion. Yeah, you can't make this up. It says think outside the box and stretch the boundaries of what could be. I was just saying that with the Hierophant. You have this Taurus card. It says perseverance. It says, remember, slow and steady wins the race. Awaken your inner bull to give you patience. I think you're getting a result here, Sag, on something that you have been patient for. Because, again, you have the Temperance card twice, and you have that Eight of Wands twice. And it's like, it's almost like something is coming in for you much quicker, or something that you've been patiently waiting for a long time is finally coming in. You have the Nine of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Temperance card. Nine of Swords can be a never-ending nightmare, but coming up in the good stuff, it can say that you are ending a never-ending nightmare, or you are getting out of a situation that has been causing you a problem for a long time. So, like, finally, Sagittarius getting out of something, which is probably good. You have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands wants you to take the lead. Again, I think all three fire signs had something like this. Had the Two of Wands. And with Neptune and Saturn now in Aries, although I should say Saturn will be in Aries on the 13th of February. So if you're watching this before the 13th, obviously it's not there yet, but it will be soon. But with both of those placements, I think it is an excellent time for fire signs to be the leaders, or to take the lead on things, changes that they want to make in their life. And, that's what I would do with this card. You have the Temperance card again. So again, this reading's all about you, Sagittarius, all about your success and things that you're trying to accomplish. But when you show up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength. With the Nine of Swords, Ace of Wands, a lot of answers coming in this week. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, Eight of Wands twice in your reading as well. This week, I would say the week of the 9th and the week of the 15th or whatever it is, the middle of the month, the actual middle of the month. So I guess I should say the next 2 weeks. Just there's something about it that seems like people could really be getting an answer, which I think it's a good thing. Obviously, it's Ace of Wands is an inspiration. Ace of Wands out with the old, in with the new, so definitely a fresh start. With the Two of Wands, you have the Three of Wands. I consider the Two and the Three of Wands to both be cards of taking the lead. This guy here has to take the lead to go somewhere he's never been before. He has these boats on the ocean, and those boats are pointing out of the harbor. They represent going on an adventure, going somewhere you've never been before to discover something great. So, yes. With the Temperance card, you have the Nine of Cups, which is amazing. Like I said, it's like you're getting something you've been, like a wish you've waited for, is what I feel like saying, Sagittarius. I don't know that it's really a wish, though, because, like I said, it's like you've been patient for it, which tells me that you've probably already put work into it. So, again, if you've been working towards something specific, you could be getting that wish. You have this crib. It says birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. Definitely could be something new, because aces can be new beginnings. They're kind of like birth energy. They kind of can represent like a fresh start, like I said, on that Ace of Wands, or starting something new. And you have the Ace of Cups as well. So you have two aces touching right here. So it definitely could be some sort of birth of something new in your life. You have the Spear. It says heartache over what you no longer have. Good time for healing for sure. Like I said, remember what I was saying. It's more about you. It's like getting to the bottom of yourself. If that makes sense with that high priestess. I don't know. That's what she was saying to me. So that's what I would do. You have this goldfish. It says increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. It's a good time for money. I think that we're going to see craziness with money in the world, of course, but I think on a personal level, I've been getting a lot of really good money cards. I think people are mostly, over the next few years at least, are going to focus on simplifying their finances, and I think that's how we will make our money better for us, right? is making money in a simpler way. And if there's a way you can discover to do that, great. You have this cloud. It says temporary problems. Yeah, if you're dealing with any issues right now, they're temporary. Three of Swords also represents temporary problems. It's raining on the Three of Swords, but it doesn't rain forever. So the Three of Swords can represent like an issue that has popped up for you that you could be overcoming very quickly. You have this Nest card. It says an emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. Sure. So could be getting a lot of support from family. But this looks pretty good here, Sag. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and definitely enjoy your month.